All right, YouTube. Y'all here in YouTube land. We got about 8 minutes before we be live everywhere else. So y'all get to do a little behind the scenes. We setting up. It's your host, Mitri, with my co-host, J Mac, doing his thing. We got a lovely topic. We're keeping it real and transparent like we always do. Let's go, Dave. Come and tell them hi. You ain't been in the house in a while.
I know. So I'm here. I'm here in the house with my two friends.
Yeah,
How you doing, Vikey?
Disco Dave.
Yeah, that boy.
We got Disco Dave.
Dave in the house.
He came back just in time too. We had a great show.
Yes.
Oh yeah, he did. He did that. He did that for real. All right. Well, YouTube, y'all just gonna be behind the scenes. If it can't go wrong, it will go wrong.
But don't think that. So it's going to be positive.
Oh yeah. We stay ready.
Yeah.
We stay ready.
You got 7 minutes. You good? What
Yeah.
about the?
I was saying about 2 minutes. You want to go ahead on and make that do what it do? I don't know why. There you go. Cancel that.
2 minutes. Evie, you still there?
No.
Okay. My mic's not on.
No, ain't no mics on right now. I'm trying to.
I just want to make sure she.
Yeah, I haven't
She
got
can hear.
that thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to set up all our stuff here. Actually, this one. Don't use that. What did I just do? What did I just do? Touch screen.
Mm.
All right, YouTube, we're getting close. Got a lot of things going on over here. All right, so now we need to add a description. I don't know why you keep doing it like this, but thank you. Uh, let's go to another browser because you tripping. Facebook. You straight tripping right now. You're getting on my freaking nerves. Okay, yeah, you can go ahead and start setting up for that now. I'll be right behind you to set the other ones up. Okay, so we got this. Copy over here. Create.
You ready?
Yeah, go ahead. Okay, we're down to like 3 minutes.
Hmm.
We're down to 3 minutes.
Hey, the kid being gone.
Oh
Okay.
yeah. YouTube, y'all really getting to see all of that. He just banged his foot up. I don't know what that was about. Okay.
No, it's actually a weird. Same turn with that girl. I'm hitting the thing.
Be careful. Yeah, it's a rainy day today, so I wasn't really trying to do it all up for real. All right, we about to be live on Facebook. Live on Facebook, live on YouTube. How y'all doing? All right, I gotta push one more thing to do something and then be ready to go. Really?
Facebook acting right today.
Okay.
Mhm.
Oh shit. Bad. Real bad. Okay, where you at? You're right here. Tangled the fuck up. Last thing I want to do is pull that out of there.
No.
Want to do that. Oh. You're stuck on it. Damn. Okay. You can't have you back. Let's go, Dad. What time is it?
It's time to go.
12:59.
All right, we gotta do this. Let me see you. All right. I'll do live everywhere. W. I can't hear this. Oh,
Yeah.
W. There you go.
Mic check, mic check. Y'all hear me?
Yeah, I gotta go live.
Okay.
Whoa, WAIF 88.3 FM. WAIF is your community radio station. We serve only to open our airways to responsible, divergent points of views. Opinions expressed on the Getting to Know show do not reflect those of WAIF staff, board of trustees, other programmers. These opinions are my own, my co-hosts, my callers, and my guests. So good morning, good afternoon, good night. Hello, Cincinnati and beyond. Coming to you straight in your home and in your time zone. It's your girl, Me Tree. Once again, here live on Wednesday at 1 p.m. with my co-host and hubby, J Mac, and we got a show for y'all today. Now, if y'all watching on YouTube or Facebook, y'all gonna see the microphone keep beating me up. Me and this mic just gonna have to have it out right now. And not to leave out our grill in the South remotely, our co-host Black EB. I'm so excited. Like
Hey, everybody.
that part. Oh, you know what? Let me put your mic on. Say hi again, so the say
Hey,
again.
everybody. Can you hear me?
We hear you loud and clear. Yes,
All right.
yes. So before we get the show started, let's set our minds in the right place and our hearts get ready to have a true heart-to-heart conversation. And we can do that by being thankful for another day to maximize teachable moments and pay it forward. On your daily journey today, embrace your imperfections while encouraging positive change. Now it's time for you to go to your quiet space, free your mind, open your heart, and it's time to get in the know. So today's topic, it's a good one, y'all. And co-host J-Man, he's just been on it. We're trying to keep up with him. He's going kind of at warp speed. But what we're going to do with the topic today, I'm going to lay down a foundation for you. Then J-Mac's going to come in and elaborate on it. and then Black Evie's gonna wrap it all up in a nice little bow. So we're gonna hit some key points here, and that's gonna be like the circulation that we continue to do with the topic. And be open-minded and think about what we're really talking about today, because it's real talk, y'all. And first person you got to be real with is yourself. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a swig of Gatorade because I'm dehydrating right now. So y'all got to excuse me. Boy, I don't know. Maybe the rain took it out of me or something. I don't know. But for the recording purposes, I'm gonna lay this down again. Today's topic is winning the invisible war, and I'm going to give you a statement. But the topic is going to be broken down into living in a mental prison, self-enslavement. I'll say that again. Living in a mental prison, self-enslavement. So these series comes from a study class that JMac is in, and I'll let him explain what he wants you guys to know about that. But it's a really organized series of like 6 to 7 workbooks that you go through, and it really makes you look inward at you and see what's going on with you instead of trying to look outward at everyone else and fix them. So the book is called Winning the Invisible War, and it's something that was created for veterans, and everybody knows me and JMac, we are both veterans. So I'm going to read this statement so it sets the tone. It is moral reconnaissance therapy, MRT, is a evidence-based cognitive behavioral program proven to strengthen decision-making, increase self-awareness, and create lasting behavioral change. Winning the Invisible War is the veteran-specific adaptation of MRT, designed to address the unique experiences, challenges, and needs of veterans. Because veterans respond best in peer-supported environments, the program is delivered in groups exclusively for veterans, fostering connection, trust, and accountability. Widely implemented in behavioral health, residential and outpatient treatment, and community-based programs, Winning the Invisible War has become a trusted resource to help veterans overcome obstacles, build resilience, and achieve lasting success. So before I turn the mic over to JMac, Winning the Invisible War is something that anybody can Google on the internet. You can actually ascertain the books for yourself and work through the workbook series, or you can find, if you're struggling with something in your life and you need group therapy, it's ways that you can get attached to resources that can help you with that. And like I tell you every show, if you need to know more about that, go to GetInTheKnow, GITK.org. Now it's time for me to pass the mic to JMac. He's going to break this down for us.
Okay, hello everyone, and thank you for joining us on Getting to Know. I'm your co-host, JMac. What are we going to do in this series is, the topic is living in a mental prison, self-enslavement. And it covers quite a bit of information. But right now, the powers that be wanted us to focus on certain ones, which would be job, bills, bad marriage, children, my favorite, drugs and alcohol, and church. Okay. Now, what I mean by prison is the prison. You know, there's a few different types of prison in which we all live in, and it is the prison of our beliefs, attitudes, and habits. Okay. Beliefs place limits and boundaries on the people that believe in them. For instance, when you're in prison, you have boundaries. There's only certain places you can go within the structure at any given time. Okay? So, as we know, being in prison, we're using a state of mind. Your mentality can keep you in prison. Say, for for your job. Okay, you are a prisoner to your job, right? You have to get up a certain time of the day or the night. You have to go to this job. You have to do what you're asked to do. I'm not going to say told to do because nobody tells me to do anything. I do, but you have to do it in order to get your paycheck, feed your family, pay your bills, and so on and so forth. You become a prisoner. Okay, your mind takes over in the effect that every day it goes through this same cognitive program in order for you to pull this off. Okay, you can have, say, like, you got to pay your bills, right? So what do you need to pay your bills? You need a job. And if you don't pay your bills, you're not going to eat, you're not going to have lights, you're not going to have clothes. Okay, all this stuff comes in the form of things that you have to do, habits. You have habits that you have to persist in. Okay, on the other hand, it could also mean an addiction. Now, what I mean by an addiction is the overwhelming desire for anything in particular. It is also a prison. It could be a woman, it could be gambling, it could be the lottery, it could be a multitude of things that you become a prisoner to. Okay? So, in putting that into perspective, also, these things are also part of being in a prison. It is jealousy, hatred, anger, resentment, and depression. All of these can confine you into a space where you are in a prison. Would anybody like to elaborate on that?
I'm gonna let Black Evie jump in there because I got a lot to say. But Black Evie, it's your turn.
Well, I have a lot to say, but in reference to being in a mental prison and the types of mental prisons that you named off, Mitri, in reference to what J Mac was explaining, detailing. I'd like to talk about a mental prison that I've been in for the last definite year, but maybe couple of years. And it's not on your list, but I gotta touch on it because out of everything on your list, I don't feel that way. But when it comes to my health, being in a medical health prison, I have been in that. And it's a real emotional place to realize that you are limited. And I'm pretty sure as a vet, disabled vet, you can understand, where I'm coming from. In the fact that you were fine, all your body parts worked fine, everything was great, and now it's not. And I mean, just bottom line, now it's not, and you got to figure out why it's not, and you have to, learn how to live with your limitations. So, as far as a mental prison, I have been in one, and I'm trying to work my way up out of that. And it's a little difficult, just as difficult to work your way up out of that mental prison as it is becoming in that mental prison, whatever kind it is. You realize you're in that prison or you're in that place, and it's like, oh my God, how'd I get in this place? Well, it took some time and it took some levels and some phases and some tears to get there. To come up out of it, it's going to take the same thing. You have to be dedicated and willing to do the work to get to a better place. The end.
That part right there. So y'all know what I'm about to do. I'm about to mix it up. I'm about to get the pink elephant exposed in the room. So let me start by saying this. Let's be real. Everybody has some type of prison that they have mentally put themselves in. I don't care who you are, whether it's a drug and alcohol addiction, an addiction to a person, an addiction to work, addiction to whatever you may have. The sky is the limit. The key thing here to coming back to J Mac and Black Evie is to be aware of that. So I'm gonna start, and I'm just gonna bust it wide open. Nobody's normal. There is no such thing as being normal because if we were, we will all be the same. And I'm aware that some people think that there's something about normal that's acceptable, and then they begin to think in status quo. So you try to meet a predefined set of arbitrary rules that you can't live by, and then you begin to imprison yourself. I have been guilty of that. I have been guilty of thinking I needed to measure up a certain way in life to specifically please my parents because I didn't want to let them down. Because I had watched for years, because I'm the last child, them be let down by some of their children, and that's the truth. And if you're feeling it hard, then you know it may apply to you. And let's just keep it real. So see, I go into the process of thinking when we talk about these mental prisons and stuff that J Mac brought to the table. And I believe that you're either a submissive thinker or a suspicious thinker. I'm not submissive to nothing. I'm going to be suspicious about everything, and I'm always asking questions. And I'm always thinking and processing information. Again, that is a mental prison. I am also bipolar, and that just really exacerbated my mental prison because I'm always going, trying to figure out what it is I don't have and how to line it up. It's got to be in order as a veteran that just put it on steroids and everything. But I love the one that Black Evie brought because we're bringing it from our own mental prisons, and she mentioned health. And that's really one that's underrated to me because we all need to know how healthy we are mentally and physically, especially when you either at that big 5-0 or approaching it or past it. But our youth, they need to know how healthy they are too. So don't become a victim of your own circumstances and don't settle, nor manipulate or abuse yourself. Because if you do that, then you allow other people to imprison you. So I'm going to stop there for the moment because there's some other ones on here that I'm going to bring to fruition. I'm going to keep it real transparent. I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to be hitting some hard subjects today, but y'all know how I am because, like I said, I'm not submissive. I'm suspicious. So I'm always asking questions. I'm always looking for further information and proof. It's not what I know, it's what I can prove. So I'm going to pause out there because the next one, I don't know, a few of y'all might get mad at me, but if y'all keep it real with yourself, y'all should have really been thinking about this already. Or maybe you weren't brave enough to say it because you became a victim of other people's thinking in measurements for who you are. So on that one, I'm going to be ended like Black Evie did and pass that mic back to J Mac.
Okay, y'all putting logs on the fire right now. All right, so let me help y'all out a little bit. As far as health, okay, when we say mental prison, it does affect your health. Because if you're angry, if you ever notice when you get angry, what's the first thing that happens? Your blood pressure goes up.
Preach.
Okay, you get hot, cold sweats because your body's trying to regulate itself. You know, some of your organs tighten up, like you get what's called the tight jaw, where you're grinding your teeth almost, and it's not healthy. Your eyes will turn red, get bloodshot red, and stuff like that. And that is a part of your health, which is also a part of this mental prison thing. It does affect your health. I do agree with Evie on that. And resentment does too, because you take and you hold the resentment against a person and you just hold on to it and you hold on to it and it just eats you alive and it sends you into maybe sometimes a depression, you know what I mean? Which is also, again, like Evie said, it is bad for your health. All of this does play a factor in your health. I have a saying myself, then, and I have to practice it all the time, and it's don't let people rent space inside your head unless they're paying rent, okay? Because we sometimes get in a funk where we worry, which is another part that affects your health when you're worrying about things that you can't really do anything about. When we worry about what other people are thinking about us, and it really throws us off our game, and it's also a mental thing because we are thinking about this.
Preach.
Okay, so the health part, yes, I get, but all of this does play a role in our health, and it is part of the mental prison. Okay, so if we're doing something like like an addiction, it is a mental prison. Okay, and you know what it is it's an overwhelming desire for anything, not just drugs and alcohol, anything. It could be money. A person could be so addicted to money that they work themselves into bad health. Okay, a person could be so addicted to gambling that they could lose everything they have. So it all comes into play in the mental prison that we are in. For one thing, I really have to, since I am a vet, I have to think about the mental prison that a lot of my comrades, you know, they face. And unfortunately, it is a truth that, the suicide rate of death of the suicide is almost three times the national average. And it's because when they come back, they are in a mental prison. Okay. They have PTSD, they're shell shocked. They might have caught some chemical or something over there and they bring it back with them. They might start seeing, hearing, smelling, getting into environments that triggers them back into that mental state where it's fight or flight for them. Okay. So they're in a mental prison too. And unfortunately, some of them just can't deal with it. Okay. So it becomes the mental prison is what I'm trying to say. It's a broad aspect of what goes on with you mentally, just like bipolar. Okay, it's a very tricky mental aspect of your life, and again, it does affect your health. All of this actually affects your health. Drugs, alcohol, they affect your health. But mentally, people will drink themselves to death, or they'll go out there and buy some stuff that they know could possibly kill them. But mentally, they're willing to take that chance. So it's a broad aspect. And that was a good comment that you came up with, Evie, about health. And I actually think all this ties into health in some type of manner or form. With that, I pass.
Okay. Black Evie, you're up.
Okay, so let me clarify for everyone what aspect I was coming from when I referenced my health prison, being in that. I am in that prison due to work injury. So I'm not there per se as far as the onset of it because of mental situation. My health and my injuries and what comes from those injuries and my limitations took me to that mental prison. So it can work either way. I just wanted to clarify that for you, J Mac, because I didn't clarify it before. I just, kind of spoke about it kind of generally, but that is what's going on with me. My work injury situation took me to the mental health frame where I had to seek therapy. It got to a place, it was really bad, and I tried so hard not to get to that place. I really did. I was like, I'm strong. I can deal with this. I can figure it out. I can work with this. But eventually, I broke. So that's what happened there. But in reference to some key aspects of a mental prison, if one doesn't know that they are in a mental prison, if they don't know the signs, um, you can stay in that just perpetual world of whatever you're processing, and it can take you deeper and deeper in. So I'm going to give some, uh, I guess, some ways to figure out if you are in a mental prison. One of them, self-limiting beliefs, and that would be holding on to the wrong or unfounded negative beliefs about whatever the event, subject, category is. It affects your work. It affects you're asking questions about the future, all those types of things. That's self-limiting instead of doing the opposite and learning and growing from the situation. Researching, hey, how can I not be in this situation anymore? Right? That's how you move forward instead of just holding on to it and building up more negative thoughts on top of negative thoughts. Another one is what they call the jailers within. That's like jail, going to jail, the jailers within. And these are common mental traps that include overgeneralization, like your shoulda, woulda, coulda statement, or your all or nothing type of thinking, and being in a constant state of self-criticism. That's you jailing yourself within in reference to the situation. Another one, unseen limitations. Okay, often unnoticed, these structures are formed by habit, societal expectations, and past traumas, and they create a distorted reality for the individual that can keep that individual in that distorted reality, and that's where they're operating from. We don't want that, and there are ways to work on those. One more before I pass the mic. The physical effects, right? It brings us back to that health aspect. Similar to a physical prison, if you stay in these head spaces that I just talked about, it can lead to severe anxiety, depression, to a sense of hopelessness, a sense of worthlessness. This takes you down a road physically that you don't want to be in. And when your mental health is affecting your physical health, that's a whole different beast. It is definitely a whole different beast. But I will talk about ways on how to kind of break free of these things the next time I talk.
No, the end.
The
Oh, I'm about to say.
end.
Okay. Well, that means it's back to me then. So, Black Evie and J Mac have clearly laid out what a mental prison can be. And I will add again, what is your mental prison? Everyone needs to ask themselves that. Just because it might be drugs and alcohol for one person, it might be enslaved to your children. For another person, it might be the job for a different person, or it might be a bad marriage for a fourth or fifth person. So I'm gonna go into because they covered a lot of things. I'm gonna go back to Black Evie's all or nothing, black or white, no gray area. I am guilty of that. It's either black or white, no gray area for me. And in a relationship, that's kind of hard. So if you're in a relationship with anybody, a significant other, your pastor, your children, to have that thinking is not a thought process that allows you to look at different perspectives. And it doesn't allow you to own your part in it because you're thinking it's either right or wrong, left or right. Now I'm a little bit like deep thinker, so I do realize those things, and I try to grow within myself, so I don't become so, what do they call it, tunnel vision with it. But on that tunnel vision statement, I believe that people can do Stockholm syndrome to themselves. And Stockholm syndrome was back, I think, in Sweden, or something to do with Hitler, where all the people that were being enslaved, they began to willingly want to be enslaved and became servants and to him or whatever it was associated with over in Europe. The people that were being abused became willing to be abused because that syndrome, it messes with somebody's mind so much that they have no ability to reason with themselves and know that, hey, this is not good, nor do they have the strength, because when they're being over dominated like that, this has been ingrained into you. And I think a word that we use nowadays is you've been groomed. So from the groomed aspect, I'm going to take one of the biggest things that helps people get into mental prisons and not challenge the thought processes that they have within themselves is church. Church and faith, you can't have doubt or you don't have faith. They're supposed to be the opposite. And church has brainwashed a lot of people. And I'm brave enough and strong enough to say that. And I'm going to go deep right now before we go to the break and leave y'all with a little something to think about. And we'll come back after the break. But people go to church dressed to kill, looking real good, but on the outside. But on the inside, in real life, IRL, they are dying. They're so mentally imprisoned to what people think they look like and how loud they shout in the church, what instrument they play, how much they tithe, that they have completely forgot about their free will to think on their own. And they have enslaved themselves to the thought processes of others and measuring their self-worth, value, and how they're going to be after we die by what somebody else told them it was. Now, I'm a person that has a spiritual foundation, and I'm very transparent. And I think faith in church needs to be discussed on a different level because I do a lot of research. I've been to a lot of churches. Everybody's had experience with church or watch TV, YouTube, or anything. And church and the Bible are being weaponized to imprison people to think A, B, C, D, and E way, while it's not healthy. It's not healthy for the person that's the parishioner. And I've watched it, I've seen it, I've witnessed it, how church and faith can destroy a person. And it stops a person from having their own mental process if that is what they believe, because they get so ingrained in what the Bible is telling them to do. But I ask you all, I challenge you this. Who wrote the Bible? Man. They say it's infallible. So if you say it's infallible and man wrote it, man is fallible. And I'm going to give you something else to think about. There was an Old Testament that went by laws. They had to rewrite it and come up with a New Testament because they couldn't follow it. So I'm brave enough to say this. How can it be infallible? Please tell me how it can be infallible. Please tell me why it's the only way that we get to God. It's the only, this religion, that religion, or whatever. I watch so many people be enslaved to church and then prison themselves in their minds, and then their whole thought process is based upon what they think other people think of them. They come into church dressed in they $200 outfit. They jumping up and down and running around and screaming, hollering, all this stuff in the name of God. And if we have free will, we can think for ourselves. I'm not saying church is bad or good. I'm just saying start thinking about it. Think about who's telling you what to do with your spirituality, your faith, and you, because what I do understand, according to the Bible, salvation is yours. Nobody else can save you. So think about those things when you're just pouring all your energy and you think this big old miracle's gonna come because you done tied, or you sister this or mama that, and you had this, that, and the other, you in your best blueberry 3-piece suit or whatever. Where is the substance? Where is the substance? On that note, I gotta go to the beach.
Yes.
Yeah.
That part right there.
Okay. First of all, hold on. Okay. Okay, number one.
Okay.
Second, don't hurt them.
Don't hurt him.
Don't hurt them.
Wait.
But it's too late for me to say that. I just want to say it.
You know what I mean?
Y'all
want
me? Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to testify. Don't hurt them. I was the congregation. Boy, let me tell you. You didn't hurt a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
You hurt a lot of people
Well,
with that information.
When we come back, I'm gonna try to help her out a little bit. I think I'm not gonna throw more gasoline on the fire though. I'm putting you.
Okay.
Look, I might have to go into witness protection, man. Look. Hey, I just keep
We got to get to that PSA, y'all.
That's right. Okay, so let's pray. We gonna have to pray. Cause here we go. Okay, where's the play button? Somebody that moved the play button on me. Okay, I push play. There we go.
Went on the air 50 years ago. That's right. We are celebrating our 50th year as a non-profit, non-commercial, listener-supported radio station with the most diversity of any station in Cincinnati, and it's all because of you, the listener. With so many stations like ours ceasing to contribute to continuous operation, we need your help to stay on the air for the next 50 years. Our spring marathon is underway, and we would love to have you become a member today by visiting waifradio.org or donate. All you have to do is just go to our homepage and click on the donate button. It's at the top right-hand corner, or call us at 513-961-8900. That's option 2. We now allow you to become a monthly member as well. Sustaining member contributing for as little as $5 a month, while continuing to allow you to do one-time donations. Contributions like this also allows us to continue to enhance our station. And listen up, we have stepped into the 21st century. You can now listen to Blake anywhere in the world from any smart device or speaker by just saying, "Hey Alexa, Google or Siri, play WAIF 88.3. Become a member today, and we're waiting on you."
Y'all heard it. If y'all want us to be on this radio another 50 years, the waifradio.org. Hit that donation tab. For $25 more, you get a trinket from Waif, and you get one from Getting to Know. Make sure you put Get in the Know. It's to show that you get the credit. And also visit Get in the Know, GITK.org, to let us know you made that donation. Keep your personal information personal. Just give me your name and proof of payment, and you also get a trinket for a donation of $25 or more to waifradio.org. We want to be here another 50 years. All right, so we're going to go ahead and jump right back on in on the topic. J-Mac said he was going to save my life. What you going to do for me, baby?
Whoa.
Whoa.
Okay, so church is a mental prison. It can be. If you take a look at what church do, like you have your mega churches. You also have your prosperity churches. Now think about this real quick. What do your prosperity preachers preach? They preach prosperity, right? But the only one that's prospering is the preacher, right?
Preach!
So they're flying around. They can walk out their mansion, go right to the runway where their jet is sitting, and you can't even fill your car up right now, okay? And they using jet fuel. You're talking about just regular low-grade gasoline. But they're telling you, you keep on giving us money, and you're going to prosper, okay? That is a mental prison because you're believing in something that is not, it's not there. It's just not going to happen. Now I will give you some sound advice on that. Instead of giving them the money, keep the money in your pocket. You'll prosper from that, okay? So the church thing she's talking about, I understand because it's kind of split in two. It's a religion and it's also spirituality. Now, I had to learn the difference between them. Going to church is part of a religion, okay? You have designated things that happen. There are behaviors that you do, practice. You do certain practices, their ethics, morals, beliefs, and they're all organized. Okay, like for example, every first Sunday of the month, you go to communion, right? You drink some Concord grape wine, that's the blood, and you eat this little dry cracker, that's the body, right? It is a behavioral, process that you're going through. It's a practice, okay? And it's organized. It happens every first Sunday of, the month. Or, like Catholics, they have the Virgin Mary thing going on, I don't know much about them, but every religion, if you believe it or not, they have a certain behavior. All right. Now, spirituality, on the other hand, it is an individual thing. It is something that comes from within. It is a moral that you have. For example, treat others like I want them to treat me. That is a spirituality thing. Looking for meaning and purpose in life. What do I want to do with my life? Like we had a show about legacy, and things like that. That is spirituality. That is what you look for in spiritual and religion. Again, it is part of the church structure, okay? It's a building, okay? And I would rather be spiritual than to be part of a church, just to be, So I hope that helped get a little bit of the heat off of her, because you got to think about, I get what she's saying, okay? We go to church, we get this fire and brimstone, we all going to, wherever we going, right? And it ain't a good place, you know what I mean? And if you ask the church, you don't put all this money into the church and you need your light bill paid, and the first thing come out their mouth is, oh, we'll pray for you. Okay, so well, pray for me to put some more money in that bucket the next time.
Keep
okay?
passing it around.
All right.
Withdraw.
So I mean, that's the way I look at it, and it is for some people, it is a mental prison, because some people, you're just not going to change their beliefs and their behaviors. So that's my take on the church side of things.
Okay. Let me throw a few little things about the church in there, since that's the topic. The first thing I want to say is that it's a business, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And the biggest one of they have one of the biggest, I guess, categories of being in a mental prison, and that is being in a cult.
Hello.
All right. And that's even deeper. That goes deeper than religion, although they use that as a basis. So when you think of a mental prison, and when it's coming, to the church, the ultimate is a cult. And there are many cult examples out there. Just Google them. That's what I wanted to say about that. Furthermore, church is a religion. It's not a religion. That's where you practice your religion, is in the church. And your faith and your spirituality come from within. The religion that you serve or believe in, that is what they feed off of, is your faith, your belief in the faith and spirituality realm. And they throw in those rules of religion. So just think about that, because that's a prison in itself. Think about that. Do you want to be a part of that? Is this serving your needs as a human being moving through life? Right? Is it a hindrance? Is it helping? Things like that. But let me go on and talk about how to break free from these mental prisons. All right? And this takes work. Everything takes work. The first is awareness. That's the first step. to recognizing this invisible prison and identifying the self-limiting habitual thoughts that you may have. Awareness, number one. You got to be aware. That's half of the battle, knowing, okay? And then from knowing, you build from there and find a resolution, all right? The next is cognitive reframing. Challenging the validity, the validity,
Get some words out, girl.
validity, right?
Got
Challenging the validity of negative thoughts and examining the assumptions behind them. That is cognitive reframing. I'm gonna say that again. I like that. Challenging the validity of negative thoughts and examining the assumptions behind them. We can stay right there, and I could really dig into that. However, that's number 2 on my breaking free list, in cognitive reframing. Mindfulness, returning to the present moment to break the cycle of worrying about the past or the future. Mindfulness. Be mindful of what's going on, what's happening around you, who's around you, how you affect those people with your thought process. Mindfulness. The last is shifting the perspective, actively challenging the jailers in your mind. We talked about that a while ago, the top of the show. The jailers in your mind. Challenge that, challenge that, challenge that. So, and that helps you to break free. Stop the whole negative narrative. Whatever your thoughts in your mind, I'm a loser, I'm worthless. Stop that. Stop that by challenging all those negative thoughts. And with that, I say,
Woo-wee, y'all really hit the ground running with that. Okay. J-Mac, I got so many notes on my little card here. When he was, and he did it like, me and you, we really are in sync. Because when you start talking about religion and spirituality, you went on and went back to reputation and legacy. And literally while you was writing that down, I was saying religion was reputation and legacy was spirituality.
Mm-hmm.
And Black Evie confirmed it and went on to talk about how to cognitively reframe your thought process with mindfulness and shifting the perspective. If you look at those little few things that both Evie and J-Mac said, it's imperative that you learn, in my opinion, I'm going to say in my opinion, learn this process because it can become healthy for your physical health and your mental health. Because remember, there are all these things going on around you while you're processing these thoughts with these beliefs, morals, and values that have been instilled in you by either nature or nurture. So if you a person that likes to learn and challenge things and not submissive thinker and you're a suspicious thinker, you will continue to go on research and develop healthy processing thoughts for yourself. So to all of that, what they Black Evie and J-Mac just said, they didn't even know I had wrote my own statement to myself and to others to make sure that I stand strong in what I believe and not based it on church faith or anybody else's, overwhelming Stockholm syndrome against me. Because like I said, I can put myself in the Stockholm syndrome and enslave myself to people, places, and things. It's not just about being addicted to drugs and alcohol. You can be addicted to so many different things and not even realize that you're addicted to those things. So let's be open-minded here. So I have wrote this statement. And I think it's a good time to say it. I said to myself, don't be scared to do you. Those trying to conform you to their belief system may not be in your best interest. What is good for one person may be bad for another person, but it doesn't make either person wrong. Know and stay in your lane. Surround yourself with people who can coexist with you And both of you can respect me time and understand it's okay not to agree, as it is a healthy communication and learning the other person's perspective. I like you don't arrive at that statement that I wrote to myself and wanted to share with you guys. It took me 55 years to get here. And it's not something that I can just read to you and say, oh, yeah, I wrote the words. I made sense. It sounds good. No, it's something I have to practice every day or every day. No, not every day, every day. It's something that I have to instill in my head because life consistently goes on around me and others. And I don't exist on this earth by myself. And no one is independent. Everybody is interdependent on a system or somebody else to survive. And we really need to let that come to fruition in our own minds. And when we go out to check somebody, start by looking in the mirror and check yourself. Stop enslaving yourself to standards that you will never meet, that either are placed upon you by yourself or by someone else. Love thyself and understand thyself. And know it's a process. It's a thing that's a work in progress. You have to keep working on it for real. No matter what you subscribe to, I would suggest that first you subscribe to understanding yourself and what that means to you. I will preface all of these things by saying I ain't telling nobody what to do nor how to do it. I'm just trying to give you a little bit of information about the situation so you can come to another thought process. You know, people plus knowledge equals solutions. Information is key and knowledge is priceless. So seek, always seek. Don't be a submissive thinker. Be a suspicious thinker. That don't mean you got to be on the prowl trolling people like you're the FBI, but challenge those things that other people may call normal. I despise that word normal. It ain't nothing normal about me. I'm unique and I embrace that. I am abnormal. I am crazy as you know what, but it's my independent elegance and I illuminate it wherever I go. I am not going to not believe in me because me, return on investment equals me. I get out of me what I put in. So yes, I have a mental prison. I probably have several of them. Since JMac is teaching us through this MRT training right now, it's really making me discover a lot about me. And this was designed for veterans, but again, it could apply to anybody. And I implore you to go and look it up because like it's a whole system that you go through. And, you know, we're going to do our version of trying to talk about it on the radio. But at the end of the day, getting to know you better and getting to know who you are now and how you think after you've been through life and things, circumstances change is the best thing that you could ever do. And if you are with somebody else, it's wonderful when you really get to understand them too. And understanding their perspective. Because me and J Mac's relationship is based upon that. Understanding the other person's perspective is key. And sometimes we don't always get it right. But you know what happens with that? That's when it's time for me time. We divide and conquer, go to our separate corners, have a little time out. We even got a code word we use, you know, like Kevin Hart used pineapples. Well, we have another word. To take that time out and get our perspectives lined up, get out of the prison that we might put us both in because we get in a heated argument or debate. Not saying that that's what goes on, but that's when two people are in one prison. I understand, especially when you're in a relationship or a marriage, don't be imprisoned by the other person's thinking to the point where you have no original thoughts of your own and you all don't coexist together. So on that note, we are 1351, 151 for civilian time. So we're going to have to wrap it up and do our takeaways. And I'll start with J Mac. What's your takeaway, babe?
The one thing I didn't get in is that the mental prison can also start at a young age. For example, you would be told you ain't going to amount to nothing. You're dumber than a box of rocks. And you keep getting these things layered and layered on you. And without you even realizing it, you have became a part of that mental prison that was built around you, unfortunately. Um, I had a lot of fun with this, and I didn't think Mitra was going to go off like she did, but it's okay. You know, it was a good thing. You know,
Y'all know me.
I'm gonna leave y'all with this. I think this is gonna be the last time I speak with you today. I had fun. I learned a lot myself, but I'm gonna give you a quick quote, and then I'm gonna sign off. There are three kinds of people in the world: the ones that learn by reading, the few who learn by observation. The rest of them have to touch the electric fence for them.
Wait a minute, that was supposed to be funny, wasn't it?
Yeah. I want y'all to try to be happy, get healthy, and free your mind. I'm J Mac. Thank you for joining us on Getting to Know. I'm out. I approve this message. Peace.
I second it. Black Evie.
All right. Okay, y'all. I'm gonna leave y'all with some to-do things.
Okay.
Just in case you are, you know what? It's not just in case you are in a mental prison. I think that Mitri clarified for us earlier that everyone is in a mental prison. Some kind. You can't get away from it. You're there. Okay? So I need you to help yourself so that you can try to work yourself up out of it. One of the things you can do is success journaling. You keep a daily log of even the smallest conquer, the smallest win, okay? And this creates a success file in your brain, on paper and in your brain. And you can use this to dispute your future negative thoughts. All those I'll never succeed, I can't do, I won't ever get to be able to. This success journal, it will help with that process. Remember, journal the win, the conquer, the accomplishment. Once you complete a goal or a task, even small, it could be washing the dishes before I go to bed. Hey, that's a win. Journal it. Look back on it, reflect on it when you're having those negative thoughts. Self-compassion break. All right? Give yourself self-compassion break. I'm going to give you a 3-part mantra during stress, okay? And this is to help mindfulness, common humanity, and self-kindness. This is all wrap these 3 steps. This is what you say. This is a moment of suffering, mindfulness. Suffering is a part of life, common humanity. May I be kind to myself, self-kindness. I'm going to say it again real quick. This is a moment of suffering. Suffering is a part of life. May I be kind to myself in those moments. So a self-compassion verse. Reflect on things to help yourself to get over your negative hump within your mind. And on that, I say thank you for joining the show today. I really learned a lot, of course, from our nurture in the building.
Yes. J Mac. J Mac.
I'm learning too.
That's our new teacher. He taking us to school though, boy.
I'm learning too, so I get just as much out of it as y'all do, and I'm so happy to be here to share the joy.
As teachers usually say.
Nah, you know, I might bring him an apple or something now. Okay. Y'all, did you be in it yet, Black Evie?
The end.
Okay.
Black Evie out.
Okay, they rated really hard for me to follow up on my takeaway. They went deep, and I love that mantra that you said, Black Evie. I really do, and I like how you ended yours too, baby. Really, at the end of the day, I'ma just say, don't be a victim of your own circumstances. Don't place that upon yourself. Don't settle for manipulation or abuse. It's never okay. And I'm not just talking about being abused by somebody else. Like Black Evie and J Mac been saying all along. Don't abuse yourself. We all have some type of mental prison, something that we addicted to, something we just got to do it and or say that we maybe need to get a better understanding about ourselves from. Remember, it's okay to be a suspicious thinker. Like J-Mac said, you have three types of people that learn. You either read or by osmosis and experience, or some people just got to get shocked by the daggone fence. You know, those people that got shocked by the fence, they going to have to go do Ebony's mantra now, Black Evie's mantra, because that hurts and then they got to be like, oh, I'm suffering. Well, don't wait till you get shocked by the fence and suffer. Know now. But if you do get shocked by the fence, do what Black Evie said with the mantra. And I'm going to put all of this stuff on the website under self-help because everything starts with each person individually from within themselves. Before you even can coexist peacefully with other people. And we live in a world where social interaction is underrated. It's not done a lot, and everybody lives behind screens and platforms and all of these things that really pour in very unsafe and unhealthy negative thoughts and further make you become part of some cult that is a platform, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, 3 of which I'm on. And I try to instill valuable information to my viewers and my listeners. And on that note, I appreciate all my viewers and listeners' support that you guys do. Again, you can always reach out with topics of discussion that you may want to do. We're going to be bringing more people in to get going here. And it's 13:59. And before I get off this mic, as always, we got to give a shout out to the Joseph House. Oh, yeah, you know what? We was at the car show this weekend. Y'all stay tuned on the YouTube. The video will be up, and it will be on the TV station. So let me shout that out. Every day, 3 times a day, Getting to Know is on Spectrum and Ultra Fiber. So all these shows that we do in the studio here at the radio station, we do the podcast on the TV show. So you guys will be able, if you missed it, you can always go to the YouTube channel and just go to the playlist and look up whatever show you may want to see. But if you want to go to the website, Get in the Know, GITK.org first, and just go to the media page. All of the videos are there. And link to actually the Joseph House is there because we do want to shout out the Joseph House and the car show that was done in their honor because they work with veterans and they help veterans with getting past these obstacles and these mental prisons that we can put ourselves in. So on that note, I'm going to have to say one love always. I leave you in peace. I'm going to have to transfer the show over to Bean Hart. And this is WAIF 88.3 FM. Get in the Know, your host, Mitri. I'm out of here. Let me make sure it's clean.
Yeah, it should be, yeah.
Yeah, I don't be trusting it. Yeah, it is.
We all.
Yeah.
Okay, I like how you be sneaking in the call at the top of the hour, Sid, when you handing it over to Bean Hart.
Yeah.
I've been peeping. I've been there. I just never said on it, but I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna say something today because you just slid it in real cool, like just in case, Bean. I know it's cool, but you know. There you go, my ninja.
That part right there. All right. Oh, wait a minute. You know what? I might. That blew my mind. Oh, YouTube, we out of here too. We have to go now. Stay tuned. Thanks for your loyalty. Yes, and yeah.